One day, Thomas and Percy were arguing in the yard. "I've never seen an engine," started Thomas, "more excited than you to get dirty. First with lime, and then of all things, treacle and hay." "Well," started Percy, "I'd rather be dirty than be scared of someone who's covered in lime." "Really, Thomas? Surely the Fat Controller's most guaranteed engine would know better than that. There's no such thing as ghosts." "Rather a ghost than a breakfast item. Don't you remember what you look like, Percy? Treacle dripping down your face, and you were covered in hay from smokebox to cab." "All you needed," started Thomas, "was a nice glass of orange juice right beside." Percy had had enough, and he stormed off in a fit of rage. "The nerve of some engines," Thomas started, "to think that he could talk to me like that. Like I haven't been running my branch line." Thomas's fireman interrupted. "Come on, Thomas. The Fat Controller said we had to take some eggs to market. We mustn't be late now." Thomas was still annoyed, but reluctantly agreed. On his way to the first station, Thomas was still grumbling. "Give it a rest, Thomas," started his driver. "You can't be complaining about this the whole journey." But Thomas didn't care. "Scaredy engine indeed. Scaredy engine indeed. I'll show that Percy, I will." And he huffed off into the tunnel. He was still complaining about it when he arrived at the next station. "And to think," started Thomas, "that Percy will brag about anything like being covered in treacle and hay. It's disgusting." Edward let off a sigh. "He does remind me of you in your earlier years, Thomas. Kind, chipper, and definitely not an engine you want to get on the bad side of." Thomas scoffed indignantly. "That little caterpillar is nothing like me. I've never looked like an overgrown hash brown." And with that, it was time to go, and Thomas left, feeling most indignant. The rest of the journey wasn't any better. Thomas was still grumbling. He was still thinking about what he was going to say to Percy when they next met. "Oh, that Percy boils my steam." "Careful, Thomas," started his driver. "There's James. He's leaving with the goods train." And he was right. There was James starting, but Thomas didn't notice until far too late. "Oh dear!" exclaimed Thomas. Thomas's driver slammed the brakes, but it was far too late. The eggs from Thomas's train and the milk from James's goods train had splattered all over Thomas. He felt most embarrassed now. Percy was sent to take Thomas to the works. He found it most amusing. And while he collected Thomas, another engine was sent to clean up the wreckage. "Well, well," started Percy. "The crispy golden hash brown picking up an omelette. If he didn't know any better, my driver would have had you for tea." Presently, he heard a crackling noise. "What's this? Are the eggs scrambling already?" he chuckled. But it wasn't the eggs. It was Thomas, grinding his teeth. But I think Thomas got what he deserved. Don't you?